The chapter begins with Sasuke staring down Boruto. Boruto has been completely possessed by Momoshiki at this point. Momoshiki explains that he's taking care of Sasuke's pesky space-time ninjutsu. This is the second time I've emerged. It sure feels nice being free. Sasuke notices that the fractured arm that he had is now healed due to Momoshiki's possession. Kawaki flashes back to a conversation he had with Boruto where they promised to take down Jiken together. Kawaki is upset to see this turn of events. Momoshiki explains, "You've been free too, Kawaki. Ishiki's soul has thoroughly been extinguished. Where's your smile?" Kawaki attempts to snap Boruto out of it. Says, "I know you're in there. Don't let him control you. Wake up already." But it's too late. Momoshiki goes on to explain that Kawaki's freedom is fleeting at best. Kawaki, upset and seeing that his words are not getting through to Boruto, attacks him. Using his modified arm, he reaches out to grab Boruto, telling him to shut up, but Boruto dodges, throwing shuriken. Kawaki uses his modified arm once again to defend himself from the shuriken attack, and rushes towards Boruto. Boruto dodges Kawaki's attack, jumping upwards and then lunging back down in order to stab him in the back. Sasuke kicks Boruto off of Kawaki's back so that Boruto be forced to remove the kunai. "Are you okay?" Kawaki says, "Yeah, thanks." Kawaki is now curious. What did Momoshiki mean when he said that should work? Momoshiki goes on to explain that even though the karma seal itself has vanished, that the Otsutsuki DNA that was extracted still remains in his body. The process was complete all the way up to 80%. That means that he's almost completely Otsutsuki at this point. Momoshiki goes on to explain that Kawaki should be able to be used as a sacrifice in order to cultivate the divine tree. It might be a small one, but it ought to yield a decent-sized fruit. After hearing this, Sasuke thinks he's going to do the same thing that Ishiki was planning to do for Boruto with Kawaki. Momoshiki says, "I'll find the 10 tails that Ishiki hid somewhere, feed you to it and claim its fruit." Kawaki, upset to hear this, says, "I am sick and tired of you people using me like an object. It pisses me off." Flash over to Naruto. He's trying to get up in order to help, but he can't. His body's too heavy. He's dying from exhaustion. Flash back over to the fight. Kawaki uses his modified arm as a blade in order to cut Boruto. But Kawaki is no match for Boruto with Momoshiki's power. He gets flung away until Sasuke interrupts, attempting to cut Boruto's neck with his sword. Boruto blocks with the kunai, so Sasuke electrifies his blade using lightning release. Boruto jumps back in order to avoid being electrocuted. Sasuke ponders he should have easily been able to absorb that jutsu using karma, so why didn't he? Momoshiki asks, "Do you really intend to kill your favorite student, Sasuke?" Sasuke remembers a conversation that him and Boruto once had, and says, "Yes, if I must, because I'm his teacher," and uses the Amaterasu. Boruto creates a shadow clone in order to defend himself from the black flames. Upset that his technique failed, he decides that he ought to be more careful and uses a fireball technique in order to reserve chakra. After attempting to hit him with the fireball technique, Boruto dodges once again. Sasuke takes notice and decides to regroup with Kawaki. "Kawaki, listen," but Kawaki interrupts, saying, "Hey, there's something wrong with Lord 7th. Sasuke looks at Naruto's body on the floor, collapsed. Says this must be a side effect of the power he used earlier. This is bad, but we have no time to lose. If we don't deal with Boruto first, we'll all be dead." Sasuke explains that Momoshiki plans on capturing Kawaki in order to sacrifice him to the 10 tails. They'll need Boruto to get back to the Hidden Leaf Village because his Rinnegan can no longer do it. "That's easier said than done. Do you have a plan?" Kawaki says. "Listen, Boruto lost consciousness because he expended too much chakra. If we can restore his chakra, Boruto may be able to regain consciousness." Kawaki isn't quite sure about that leap in logic, but Sasuke goes on to explain that Boruto has karma, yet he hasn't attempted to absorb chakra even once, because that'd be too high of a risk in refilling Boruto's chakra. Momoshiki, spying on Sasuke and Kawaki, overhears them, confirming in his mind that Sasuke's theory is correct. Sasuke says, "I want to try to force him to absorb chakra without us going down first." The conversation is interrupted as Sasuke is hit with a vanishing Rasengan. It was too weak to kill Sasuke, but it did hurt him pretty bad. Boruto quickly rushes at Kawaki, kicking him in the stomach, saying to him, "Resisting is futile. Prepare to get eaten." Kawaki has a flashback to a conversation he had with Boruto. As Momoshiki goes in to capture Kawaki using the Karma Seal, Kawaki does something very dangerous. He sets himself on fire using fire release. Momoshiki is shocked. It's him. He's burning himself up. Has he lost his mind? Momoshiki absorbs the flames using the Karma Seal. I had no choice but to absorb it. It wasn't a lot of chakra, but I've got to hurry before Boruto wakes up. Boruto is beginning to regain consciousness. Momoshiki attempts to resist Boruto's awakening, but it's too late. Boruto is coming back. Boruto, regaining consciousness, says, "That's enough, Momoshiki," and rips off his horn. After doing so, he collapses onto the ground, right next to Kawaki, and apologizes, saying, "Sorry to be trouble." And Kawaki says, "Back at you, bruh." Cut over to Sasuke, and he's checking up on Naruto. Says, "What the? No way." Naruto's laying on the floor, presumably dead.